Did you see? So just Miss Marvel. I it was episode 2 or 3 when they found the bangle,
Mhm.
back in whatever 18, whatever it
I mean,
was.
it was the 10 rings on the ground.
Yes, you saw Ten Rings too, right?
Hmm.
I thought for sure we'd see Shang Chi or something else.
I,
It's
I
slowly
I
tying
need to
together.
pay attention because when I first watched episode 6, there's a scene at the end where like the entire community is kind of coming to rally around her when all the cops are there and everything. And I swear, like it went by so fast, and I should have gone back right then. But I swear I saw him in the crowd. And
That would be dope if he was there.
it'll take me a little while to go back and watch it with them now, but like I'll probably get to it this week. But if I do, I'm going to try and be a little more observant. It could just be that it was somebody that looked like him and it panned by real fast, and I saw what I wanted to see, but it would be really cool if he was there. Uh,
All those agents look alike.
but I also feel like if he was, like, I would have heard it from somebody else too. Like,
Right.
I can't be the only
Yeah.
person in all of the world to have noticed that Simu Liu showed up at in Miss Marvel.
But they're for sure that was for sure the 10 rings. I mean, I counted, right. There were 10 rings.
There were 10 rings, and the icons were at least similar.
Yes.
Like I don't. I'm not enough of a nerd to pause there and then go to, Shang Chi and pause and try and compare for sure. But yeah,
that's why I think when I said that in our text string a couple weeks ago now, I think there's this whole phase is about items that are imbued with power, like the bangle, the 10 rings, the Eternals bracelets. They're going to be somehow connected. They're just I wouldn't believe they can't be. They have to be somehow connected.
I feel like that's probably its own storyline, but I don't think it's the overall storyline. Like if you look, here we go, over here. Like Wakanda Forever isn't, Echo isn't, I don't, Blade probably isn't, unless they come up with some kind of explanation in that regard for vampires, right?
Well, I wouldn't count out Wakanda Forever because we don't know, the whole Namor spin. We don't know what items they might have imbued with power,
which would be super dope because they'd be Aztec, right? Like that's the what's really cool about it. Is I don't know if you didn't watch the one that Andrew and I did. I cut in and you actually now the trailer's out, you see in the trailer, but there's a good like artist rendering of a bunch of the Aztec costume pieces and stuff that he's got that look pretty dope.
But that could go back to the Eternals too, because the Eternals, their artifacts could have been spread over time, and I who knows that we saw in the Eternals, we saw them in ancient Egypt, right?
Yep, yeah, we saw them everywhere. I mean, they're literally eternal, so they've kind of been everywhere, and they at one point they're in it may have been even been an Aztec pyramid, like they were in something that wasn't Egypt. They were in another pyramid and kind of partying down. So I would love to see them tie back in. I think they need to, like Andrew said a few times, for that movie to really work in the way that something like Ultron worked. It has to tie in later to a bunch of stuff. That
movie is an Ultron movie without a doubt. That movie will mean so much more in 6 months to a year from now than it does, because it did feel out of place.
Yeah, and it has to, because either they're going to distance themselves from it and kind of pretend that it never happened and they were always in the background, and that's fine, because that's kind of how it's written, right? Like they were never supposed to interfere. They never really did interfere, other than turning our planet into having a giant hand, but nobody talks about that apparently. But other than also being the catalyst for Blade and Black Knight and a couple other things, potentially they're never going to talk about it again. It's entirely possible that it doesn't come up again. if they want to go that way. I don't think it will, but it at the same time, like, it hasn't come up since. Like, again, there's a giant hand sticking out of the ocean, and everybody's just like, we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about the hand. There's talk to the hand, and there's don't talk about the hand. We don't talk. So that'll be 617.
Yeah, like it literally can be this huge linchpin, or they can totally just be like, yeah, we don't. What do you mean?
Too many big actors.
I don't think that.
Yeah, there's way too much. That is going to tie in so much to phase 5 and 6. I think then we'll know. It's the only way to make it make sense.
Yeah,
because that was a grandiose movie, right? That between the actors who played the roles and in what they did and or didn't do, just to have it would make no sense. And Feige, Kevin, there's no way he would greenlight a movie just for fun.
I said it before you were on, I think, but I do think it was a bit of an experiment to see which boundaries they can push in the MCU, though. Not necessarily like an experiment, right? Because it does or can matter. Like, they referenced everything else so many times that they can kind of do with it what they want. But at the same time, like, it was so different than everything else. It had to be a bit of a test, like putting your toe in the water and see what shakes.
So can we talk about all those movies in the background that you have right there?
We will, for sure.
The only one that is potentially maybe mutant adjacent. I mean, Fantastic Four, perhaps.
Well, you got to remember, Phase 6 is they've announced 3 things for Phase 6: Fantastic Four and 2 Avengers films. And that's it. Right. Like, everything else is totally up in the air. Like, there's going to be obviously, if you look at Phase 4 and 5, there's going to be a shit ton of shows and movies that come out of there. Miss Marvel completely hinted at mutants. They even played the theme song at the end, so that that set that up.
What do you mean?
You didn't catch that?
No,
go watch the last like 5 minutes, because when Bruno shows up and he's talking to her, and he says something, he's like, oh, I was looking through your DNA, and it turns out there's a mutation. And right when he says mutation, they play the X-Men 97 theme song for just a second, just enough.
No shit.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker, I missed that.
Welcome to the All Pop No Culture podcast. I'm your host this week, Kevin. I am joined, as almost always recently, by Andrew. We've got Andy this week. We've got Kim this week. We're expanding, and you can't tell, but we sort of have Pete this week. He will be jumping in and out. Probably not jumping. It's probably bad for his health, bad for his knees. He's an old man. He's a little pudgy, but he'll be here at some point.
A lot pudgy.
Yeah, a lot. I wasn't going to say it. I'll type it, but I won't say it. So yeah, this week we took advantage. We were recording a day later to have the opportunity to talk about the entirety of San Diego Comic-Con, or at least as much of it as we can, having none of us been there because we're not that cool or rich, for that matter. One of my kids today said he wished we had gone to San Diego Comic-Con, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, it's got to be like $1,000 for a plane ticket, and then just room and board and tickets. Oh, I can't imagine. So Comic-Con happened in San Diego. It's huge. It's the biggest, pop culture event of the year as far as trailers and news and all that stuff, other than probably Disney's event later on in the year, since they're the biggest entertainment company on the planet now. Which, funny enough, for all the Marvel stuff that was announced at San Diego Comic-Con, there's still a lot of rumors that a whole lot more will be dropped come I think it's a November or December that they do the Disney one.
It's called D23.
Is it D23?
Yeah. Let me look it up actually, because let's go into this. Let's get the answer once and for all. November.
Yeah. And and so the rumor is that there's a bunch of stuff that's going to be dropped there that didn't even get dropped here for all the stuff that did drop, because we'll get there. But Phase 6 was left pretty wide open, at least for now. Phase 5 looks pretty well defined, although there's a couple of notable absences.
Yes,
that
like
we'll get to
Deadpool.
Also. Yep. And Armor Wars, which we know is in production, or at least in pre-production. So, starting off with the smaller slate of things, and when Pete gets back, we'll discuss Dungeons and Dragons a little bit. They released the Dungeons and Dragons trailer, starring Mr. Chris Pine. And since Pete is our resident nerd king and has played D&D probably more than all of us,
taught me to play.
did he teach you to play?
He was my dungeon master. Yeah.
Oh,
So, like,
that
I don't. Yeah.
Plus, by the way, before I forget, before we go back to dungeoning, September 9th, 10th, and 11th for D23 and Anaheim,
Okay.
and it's sold out. So you can tell your kid that's not happening. Just so you know.
Yeah. Well, trust me. That one will have that one's a little different because there's a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff that gets announced and
Marvel,
and all that.
Pixar, and everything else. And
yeah, exactly. So that one will be cool, and I can't wait. So we'll come back to Dungeons and Dragons. I guess this is actually a Disney thing, but the new National Treasure TV series had a teaser trailer that dropped. I didn't watch it. I think, Andy, didn't you watch every single trailer?
it wasn't in the batch. If it was
it's
there,
a teaser, so maybe it won't count. Like, I don't think it was a whole lot, but it does have the young guy from the original, not Nick Cage, but the other guy from the first couple, the kind of nerdy, the nerdy guy. I don't know if it centers around him, but there's another new character, and it's very National Treasury. And so I'm curious about that one. I don't know how you do National Treasure without Nick Cage, but we'll see. Maybe he'll make a cameo or something. It's Disney money, so you never know. So that one will be interesting. And then I think I might bounce around a little bit here, but they did Game of the Thrones. They dropped the what's it called, the House of the Dragon trailer.
Yep.
And that's looking, it's looking pretty solid. I've got to believe that they are working from the position of the early seasons of Game of Thrones and not the final season of Game of Thrones, as far as, their storytelling skill set, right? Because Game of Thrones kind of ended in a rough place, but it started like the hottest thing on the planet. So I'm curious about this one.
The preview looked really solid, I have to say, Kevin. The preview looked hot. It looked it had the middle seasons of Game of Thrones feel. Like, I was intrigued in the first 30 seconds. Like, I was like, I can't wait for this to be on HBO to try it out. It looked aggressive and malevolent. It looked really good.
Do we know who wrote it? Is it like based off one of the books, or is this another?
It's not based off any of his books, because as far as Game of Thrones goes, he's still in that Song of Ice and Fire, I think. I don't believe that he's written another actual Game of Thrones book. But it's based on the backstory that exists, I think, to a degree. I couldn't tell if this takes place around the time of the Mad King. Like, I don't know if it's before that.
I think it's before, because the Mad King would be,
that's like the fall of Targaryen, right? Like, that's when things really go to shit.
And what's it called? Something's War. What's it called? Richard's War, whatever. Like, that's what I want to see. That's the one that I would and I hear that that's what they're going to build up to. Once that happens, Robert's Rebellion. when Robert's Rebellion is depicted, I am fucking in, because you know that shit's gonna be amazing. Like, just to see, the big guy who got gored by the boar, see him as a badass, fighting out there, dude. And seeing like Ned Stark actually not die, but actually like kick ass too. Like, I'm down for that shit. So wake me up when that shows up. I'm, or when the buzz for this one's good. But I'm kind of like,
yeah, I'm a little tentative myself. Like, the trailer really does look good. Like, I want to know what the conflict is. Like, they kind of hint at it. Like, seems like there's I don't know if she's a princess or whatever, but she's kind of vying for the throne in some form or fashion, and so there is that whole Game of Thrones, which is kind of an analogy to chess, right? Like, that's the whole thing. Like, you're playing for the throne, you're playing for the right. And so that does seem like that's going to be, the underlying story, and it kind of has to be. But for me, I'm like, if there's a shit ton of dragons in this one and the story's good, I'm in. Like, that was my favorite part of Game of Thrones, was those damn dragons. I love those fucking things.
Really?
Oh, I think I was heartbroken when they shot that one out of the sky. And,
but then he turned all evil and shit, burned out the wall.
No, not that one. The one before, like, after that, like, because she still had two. So she had two dragons after the one died, and the White Walkers turned it into the undead dragon. But she had the one that they were flying over the Iron Fleet.
Oh, okay. I think I remember that.
And that fucking asshole shot down, and her dragon just dies in the water. And I was like, I don't even fuck this show. I was like, I'm done. I don't care who wins. I don't give a shit who ends up on the throne. They killed a dragon. And then, at the end, the dragon melts the throne and carries her daughter away, presumably to eat her. I don't know. But I'm really curious. Like, I need to see a little bit more about the conflict to be like totally stoked about it, but I'll watch it when it starts. Like, I don't have any illusions of how actually interested I am in the show. But I also have this lens, like I said, of season 8, where I'm like, I need it to be paced the right way, I guess is the best way to say it, because season 8 was like 3 seasons jammed into one, and it was a dumpster fire.
We were all so burned by that.
Oh, it hurt so bad. They had so much potential, and they screwed it. So I'm excited for that. Definitely a whole bunch of people with white hair and swords, because that's your Targaryens right there. And it wasn't the other thing. I'm not sure. Like, there was definitely another army that they're facing off against at one point. Like, they're literally like nose to nose on a bridge or a drawbridge in the trailer, but I'm not sure whose army that is. So yeah. Was there a release date on it? Do you know offhand? I didn't document that.
I think it's isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was like October. It was this year.
It's soonish for sure. I'm trying to see maybe if I got it in these notes.
Everything feels October, November of this year.
Well, yeah, because that's actually not very far away anymore,
dude. August
this year's
21st, 2020.
No.
Okay.
Next month.
Nice.
Less than a month away.
Yeah. So cool. Like I said, I'll be there. I'll watch it probably as soon as it airs, and hopefully it holds on the way the first season.
I think it's going to be a battle royale between House of the Dragon, the Lord of the Rings prequel, on Amazon, and then of course The Witcher. I feel like The Witcher was being marketed as like another Game of Thrones, and I think anyone going into that thinking it was going to be Game of Thrones was sorely disappointed. It's its own thing. But I personally, I'm just kind of like, again, maybe I'm the most negative one in the crew. I'm always like downing shit, but like, I'm not like, I don't really care. Like, you make me care.
Exactly. And I think I'm more excited about it just because Game of Thrones was like a big thing in our house when it was on. And so that, I'm still holding on to that, because I also, for as much as I disliked what they did in season 8, it was more the way they did it than necessarily the things that happened. I think if season 8 had been 2 or 3 seasons and all the same things happened and they were developed the right way, I would have been okay with the ending. Like I'm actually okay with like the last few minutes of the show and the way that it ended. It's just that whole season of getting there. It was just kind of.
All right, actually, I know this is a tangent already, so we're gonna talk about other things. But I gotta say, I was Team Jon Snow from literally the first episode, because when what's his name, Tyrion tells him something like, oh shit, we're live. I can't fucking remember the quote now, but it was a really dope quote about like accept who you are. It was like, I'm gonna botch it. I'm gonna type this shit in the comments afterwards, but it was a really good quote, and it was like, damn right, you know, because if you accept who you are, then no one can call you out your name or something. But I'm messing it up. And then he goes, becomes a crow, does his thing, rises to the leader of the crows, comes back. Like, honestly, he should have been king, or he should have fucking ruled with her. Like, so for him to just be like, oh, I'm just gonna go banish now and like go out like, what? Like, that was lame. I think that when you go through some, I have an analogy. You got to go through some shit to be the shit. Like that is legitimately how I look at the world. Okay. Yeah. And Jon Snow, of all these motherfuckers, went through some shit. So he should have been the shit. Sorry. So I feel like to go through some shit to just become shit again doesn't make sense, man. Which is why I hear that there's going to be a new show about him. And if that's the case, awesome. Okay. Fix that shit.
I think there is. I think you're right. I think he's going to have something.
We can find out why it was so important that the light brought him back.
I forgot about that even. He was dead.
Yeah, he was dead.
I was so mad. So like,
and then he wasn't.
So mad.
Yeah. They're just like, but he did. And you're like, but why? And they're like, because.
Yeah. So
like, yeah, because we needed him. What else do you want? Yeah. So bouncing off of Game of Thrones, and like you just said, they dropped some Lord of the Rings footage for the new Amazon Lord of the Rings show, which I think, like you said, is probably a more direct competitor to Game of Thrones than The Witcher or a Wheel of Time or anything like that. Which apparently Wheel of Time just got announced for a third season. I didn't even know the second season was done, and I got pretty bored with the first season, so I never even finished that.
It was super confusing.
Yeah, it was weird. Good cast, like I liked it. I just was not into it. I'd rather watch Shadow and Bone.
Yeah, the problem with that was how much source material they were trying to cull down. David and I talked about it a little offline. Wheel of Time is a giant, massive thing. It's like Lord of the Rings, and they were given time, but there were so many storylines that it's a really weird, condensed version of what's in those books, especially the first book and where it's going. I'm not surprised. They've shown some stuff from the second book. There's some first look stuff, or from the second thing they're doing. It looks pretty good, but because I was listening, yeah, Game of Thrones is gonna be fucking awesome. Yeah. Hi everybody, it's Pete.
Hi. Your hair looks nice.
Captain Buzzkill made it, everybody.
Woo.
Yeah, we were just transitioning into the Lord of the Rings. I don't know, did you see any of the trailer for Lord of the Rings?
I am so sorry I'm being that guy. Never forget what you are. The rest of the world will not.
Yes.
Wear it like armor, and it can never be used to hurt you.
Yeah.
Boom. That was Tyrion to Jon.
Yeah.
He called him a bastard, and Jon was like offended, but then he was like, no, dude, I'm a dwarf or whatever, a little guy. But never forget who you are. The rest of the world's not going to forget it. So wear it like armor, and no one can hurt you. Brilliant. Yep. Okay, I just had to get that in there. Thank you.
Glad you did. That's powerful.
Sorry.
I love that. No, I've actually thought about starting a Game of Thrones like rewatch at this point, trying to get as much through, because it was I forgot how much I liked that show, especially through the beginning, because I didn't catch on to. No, you know what? I'm going to get us derailed, and we'll keep this short and sweet. So yeah, the new Game of Thrones looks good.
Rings.
Fucking amazing. It all looks so good. There's a little bit of scary in there. It is a direct competitor to Game of Thrones.
Oh, for sure. It has to be.
Way more, like you said, way more than Wheel of Time ever would be. They kind of tried to put it that way, and they put a lot of money in Wheel of Time, but this Lord of the Rings thing looks fucking ridiculous.
I always forget how scary Lord of the Rings actually is because I'm so excited for my kids to watch it, and then I'll start watching it and go, oh God, no, never mind. This is
like
especially when you get into the Return of
Weathertop
the
in the first
King
movie.
or Return of the King when they're getting all the ghosties together and doing all that shit.
Right.
It's like you're like, cool, that's terrifying. Come on,
You know
kids,
what's funny?
let's go.
Actually, that actually never bothered my kids as much as the orcs did. Like the
Yes.
stuff that kind of looked real,
Yes.
like that, like was like the ghosty kind of stuff. They were like, "Fuck it, whatever. That's a ghost."
Totally random, but my dad actually said that's where the film lost him. He's like, oh, ghosts show up, and like that's how they like win. Like he was like,
Oh, but you gotta read the book.
No,
Yeah.
you got to read the book. You got to know. You got to read the book
Yes.
and realize that there's like 75 to 100 pages on why those ghosts are fucking ghosts. Like,
oh, I'm sure. As a movie watcher, though, that's
oh
all.
yeah, no, I get it. Well, yeah, it's, but yeah, this Lord of the Rings shit looks, it looks really good. Like I'm actually really excited for it. They peaked out just enough, and then they gave us this, and it's like, wow, yeah,
It's gonna sound good too.
Yeah,
You're talking about
Bear McCreary.
Bear McCreary, baby.
He looks like he should be in that show. I'm sorry, with his creepy mustache and hair.
Yeah. So, Pete, since you decided to grace us with your presence, and we were waiting for you to talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Do you need a minute to change your pants? Then you can come back and.
Yeah. So
tell us what we don't know about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I was thinking we just kind of like an Sdcc overview, and then in future episodes coming up here, we can talk about like, okay, this was my favorite fucking thing, because let's be real, we could talk for fucking 45 minutes about the Black Panther trailer. I can wax poetic for at least an hour on the Dungeons and Dragons trailer and everything they announced about the characters with that. So I think those need to be their own kind of fucking things that we do. Let's just try and hit a really broad spectrum. It's gonna be really fucking good. I watched a couple of the, not the whole panel yet, but I've watched a couple of interviews with the cast surrounding it, and listened to the directors talk about it. And I really feel like D&D is one of those things, like when you release a Star Wars movie, in so many ways, you're never going to please all the fans. You're going to have some hardcore fans that are, like same with the Star Trek thing. D&D is even worse because the entire game is built on making up a fucking story yourself. Like that's basically what the game is. So to take this, like, people have wildly and vastly different gaming experiences. So to kind of take this and create a movie out of it, it's really hard. It's like, okay, what tone do you take? Because different people run like horror versions, people run funny versions. It's all over the place. In watching this, I've been so worried until this trailer dropped, because that first movie that they made, that first attempt at an adaptation, was so fucking bad.
Wait, like, you're talking about the Wayans one?
Yes.
That was cinematic perfection.
Oh my God.
Sarcasm.
What the fuck?
The sad part was it wasn't garbage. It wasn't even good as a fantasy film.
No, there's nothing good about it.
Like, I always thought there was going to be two ways you'd have to do this if you're going to do D&D right. Okay, and if you want to see some just goofy, super low budget indie, something that's like an hour and a half long, go on YouTube and look up The Gamers. And one of the first ones that you should watch is The Dorkness Rising. Okay, it's basically the story of this guy who's a game designer, and he runs a game, but they cut into the people at the table playing their characters in the adventure that they're doing. Yeah. But it is super low budget. But it's actually a pretty good representation, and they're really fun. And they also do one with like a card game, and there's fun story there. So I would say you would either do it that way, or you would just go whole hog and do a like what they've fantasy. Done. And and just go full fantasy.
Yeah, because it would. Yeah, it's almost like, is it Jumanji or is it Dungeons and Dragons? You know what I mean? Like, is
exactly.
It people?
Andy wants to say something, and I want to say something after he does.
I'd like to call on our first witness, Andy.
Well, Pete, I want to know what you think about this. I read an article about how the cartoon version, those characters are supposed to be some sort of antagonist, or
Correct.
No, they're just going to show up. They're going to, okay, so it's supposed to be a wink, wink, nod, nod to the cartoon. At one point, our party is just going to meet up with that party. That's all.
Really?
Yeah, that's all it is. That's from what I've read, which is fine. I love that little cartoon, but it's its own little thing in the 80s, and it wasn't representative of Dungeons and Dragons, if you will, as everybody knows it. It did give us that cute little dungeon master character, and I loved Eric and Venger, and it had Tiamat in it, and it was still a lot of fun. But it wasn't. That was the other route that I said, you just fucking do the cartoon.
So basically, that's where I'm at. So basically, I've done Dungeons and Dragons adjacent shit, right? I didn't do D&D per se, right? But you know me, like, I'm very passionate about the shit from my youth, okay? And that music, everything about that show means a lot to me, okay? So when you say like Dungeons and Dragons is its own thing, you can make up your own thing. But yeah, that show does exist. And like, basically I expected, that was actually the first, before Robotech and everything else, that was the first show that was like, it had some silly moments, but it had gravitas. Like Tiamat was fucking terrifying. Venger was terrifying. Black Horse and everything. So it was like, it was gravitas. So I want something serious, okay? So when I saw the trailer, I bit my tongue, but I said, this is some Monty Python shit, right? I literally said that in my head. And I wish I had said it out loud, because sure enough, Hugh Grant comes out. I think he might be in the movie. Hugh Grant says, this is Monty Python. And I'm like, I get it. But it's like, that's why I'm saying I'm kind of out, but I'm not reading any parade, I promise. But the fact that they said that they're going to have, like, again, like the original party, even as a nod, I appreciate that, man, because like it meant so much to me as a kid. I never missed an episode of that shit, dude. Saturday mornings and CBS, and that's the end of my rant. But I'm letting go. I'm letting go.
So I read the same thing that Hugh Grant said. Actually, on that hand, be okay if it was Monty Python-esque, and if it was the director's trying to do Monty Python. Okay, I
don't think I would be unless they put that way out there before that movie.
Exactly.
Because if I walk into that movie and it is Monty Python and I'm not ready for that, I'm gonna walk right back out.
No, I get that. And here's the thing. I don't think it will be, because I get Hugh Grant's comparison to that, but when you see a little bit of Hugh Grant's character and you've watched some of what Hugh Grant's done lately as an actor in things, like if you watch him in The Gentleman, he's fucking ridiculous with a different accent. It's a different kind of character for Hugh Grant. It's really kind of cool. I think there are going to be Python-esque moments, but whenever, like, one of the last interviews I watched was the director and the full cast, and one of the people asked them, now that they dropped this trailer, what do you think the trailer, is the trailer a good representation of the tone of the film? And they said, actually, yes, definitely. They said, we don't get a lot of input on what's in the trailer, but this is what the tone is. Now, from what I saw, my overall impression, I'm incredibly excited. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks like it's, we'll have a whole episode where I'll break the whole trailer down. For us, but there's some really cool creatures that are in there. There's already, the fucking nerd herd is already out going, well, technically she couldn't wild shape into a fucking owl bear. That's a 9th level transmutation spell. Wild shaping only has so I'm just like, fuck off. Like, take some liberties. But they threw some stuff in there, just a quick before I get into it. So you see that scene where it almost looks like an arena, and they're running through and they dive into look like a big pit of jello. That's a gelatinous cube. That's a famous Dungeons and Dragons character. In fact, so famous that it was in that Disney movie Outward or Outbound, which whatever it's called.
No,
like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Onward.
Just recently.
Onward. Yeah, Onward, which is really good. If you haven't watched that, Andrew, I know you're kind of like anti-Disney cartoon, but Onward, you dig the shit out of. Legit. but following right on that, there's this panther creature that jumps out at you. If you notice, though, it has these kind of 2 tentacle things coming off its back. That's another famous D&D character called the Displacer Beast. It's for me, it was kind of cool as a fan to see, okay, they did keep not a lot of, but from what they're showing us, they kept some of the stuff canon, if you will, like that first dragon we see that flies overhead. That's a black dragon. Black dragons don't breathe fire; they breathe acid, and that's what he does. He breathes his line of acid and blows up a trebuchet, and it explodes. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, there's all sorts of fun stuff like that. I love the idea of Chris Pine as a bard. Dude, what's her bucket? I'm forgetting her name now. Letty, and she's Anna Lucia. She's Anna Lucia on Lost. Michelle Rodriguez. Michelle Rodriguez,
Letty,
right?
Letty. No, just say Letty. Stay with Letty.
As the barbarian. It's great casting. It looks like it's fun. I love the kid they've got as the wizard. This looks fun all around. Andy, go.
Well, so I'm along with Andrew actually. So I never played D&D. I don't have like a date to play D&D. I've never played it in my life. My experience with D&D is cartoon / video game in fucking Reno, where my parents give me $5 worth of quarters to go play D&D on the machine. So when I'm watching those previews, I'm hoping. That's why I said in our little text thread about need food badly. Like between the cartoon and the video game, that's my experience. I have no experience outside of that, but just with that experience and knowing that they're going to have those characters somehow filter in, I'm on board. I'm excited to see it.
So it's fun that Kim is on here, because Kim, during the pandemic, and I actually played some Dungeons and Dragons online with another mutual friend that Andrew and I have, and a couple of people that you guys actually, most of you know, and I think Kevin, you actually know by proxy. So what I decided to do is, those of you who have had no Dungeons and Dragons experience, we're going to run an adventure here on the show. But to keep it fun for our show, D&D did or D&D Beyond. We're going to do this all online so we can, so we still have a nice visual portion for it. D&D Beyond, which is this electronic service that I use for like all the materials and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They did a benefit where you could buy the adventure that Mike is running Will the Wise and all the guys through in Stranger Things with the quest for the Thessal Hydra. So we will do that nice little one shot, and it'll give you guys a little introduction to Dungeons and Dragons. I've got some plans. We'll talk about that offline, but your Dungeons and Dragons cherry is going to be dropped or popped. And so you'll get a taste of what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm totally on board with you guys, and that's what's so fun about D&D, honestly, is that it gets to be, once you play it, you'll understand it when we go through character creation and stuff. It gets to be what you want it to be, and your attachment to it is less valid than the guy who's 50 who's been playing since the 80s and has a full tabletop landscape miniature setup, with miniatures and it looks like a fucking Santa's village kind of thing that this dude's built that people play on. I mean, one of the big things that people are talking about, there's a very rumored giant cameo that's going to be made by either Vin Diesel, who is a super huge D&D nerd, yeah, or Joe Manganiello, or Vince Vaughn, or Tom Morello, because those guys right there actually play in a game together.
No shit.
Yeah. Google it.
As a matter of fact, they did it on a TV show. Somebody interrupted them playing on a TV show. I don't remember what show it was. Or somebody comes in and plays with them.
No, well, okay, no. So there's on whatchamacallit, on Theory. There's a scene where they get asked to Will Wheaton's game, and it's Kevin Smith, Will Wheaton, William Shatner, and a couple other people. And of course fucks it up because of the whole Shatner thing, but it's a good episode to watch. These guys just, I found out about just watching stuff on Joe Manganiello. He's got a side business called Death Saves, and a death save is a thing in D&D, but it's all this like old school 80s metal looking Dungeons and Dragons material and like sweatshirts and rings, and it's fun it's some shit that Eddie would wear and buy.
Well, I have a question then. So during the pandemic, you created, which is awesome, by the way, that you created this kind of group for, our mutual friend and Kim and everybody else to be on. So Kim, as someone who had never, I'm guessing, played D&D until 2020, what has your experience been like? Enlighten me and Andy on what we're missing.
Okay, so I thought it was a one-off thing. I didn't realize it's like a game that you continue and you I thought there were pre-made characters and you just say, I want to, do this spell or do whatever. So Pete said, describe your character to me. Could be anything, be real creative. I think I said, she's tall. She's like really tall. That's as far as I got. So then like the more I watched, the other people playing and you get to it could be whatever. You just kind of get to be silly almost.
You roll dice and everything. Like, how does that work? Like, is there dice involved? Like, even
yes, and like for most people, it was probably fine. For me, the dice was super confusing. I had to have little post-its of like.
Okay, so what we'll do here's the nice thing. What we'll do with the D&D Beyond, and I tell you what, let's just shift gears because this is a whole show to talk about, and I really do want to talk. We'll get way in deep because the D&D Beyond thing has a way that we can just roll dice digitally, so we can all see what everybody's rolling at the same time. And there's all sorts of stuff that we can do with that. And you guys, here's the thing: all you guys will have to do, and listeners out there, if I can just spread the church of D&D, let the satanic panic go through. D&D Beyond is a really cool service. I still have the core 3 books in hardcover and a beautiful. Kim was so sweet during the pandemic. She sent me the fucking Dungeons and Dragons cookbook as a way to say thank you for fucking running. And I've actually made a couple of things in it.
Love you.
Yeah. There's some really good recipes in there. So not surprisingly, it's really kind of fun. But D&D Beyond lets you you can have all the source materials that you would need to create a character online, right? All you guys will need to do to have access to all that is create account. I just invite you to it and you can use all my shit. It's like I said, it's just setting up an account. It'll be easy. We'll walk everybody through everything another time though. But it's super easy to get online. The dice are all digital. You don't have to worry about hard dice. In person hard dice, it's a thing. I love it. There's nothing like the sound of a fucking 4d6 going down a dice tower as they clackle into a little tray down there, and you look and you got to count your oh god, it's so much fun. Anyway, I know.
Hey, reach down and make sure your dick's still there.
Oh, it's already in his hand. He knows it's there.
It's there, buddy.
Not you. Just Pete.
It's there.
Yeah.
So
well,
yeah,
that's what I was talking about. He's
the recap for Dungeons & Dragons for me is, if nothing else, this just looks like it's going to be a fun Dungeons & Dragons movie, and they've added at least some real Dungeons & Dragons stuff. Like that first movie just wasn't even a good fantasy movie. It had fuck all to do with anything Dungeons & Dragons. I think except for a couple of names of some bullshit. Like it, nothing at all that was Dungeons & Dragons about. They slapped a name on it and it was fucked up. This at least has that to it. There's going to be complaints about it for everybody. There's going to be a lot of humor. My vibe that I'm getting from what I watch and from everything I've listened to the cast and the thing talk about, it's not going to be Love and Thunder level humor, like trying to do that all throughout, but I think it's going to be more along the lines of Ragnarok. And I know Andrew, like you would post about the whole, we get it, classic rock.
Sorry. Keep going.
No, you don't understand. From the 80s, okay, that was one of those things, was the Zeppelin or the Black Sabbath, those albums playing.
No, I'm not dissing classic rock on its
own.
Okay.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's a deep association between Dungeons and Dragons and that early classic rock, like the Sabbath and the Zeppelin and all that stuff. Because especially, especially you've got like Led Zeppelin with all the occult listings. You got Aleister Crowley. I mean, all the imagery that they have. You've got the Satanic Panic that included.
Well, the Satanic Panic was more fucking, what's it called? That one group. Shit. The group that it was Black Sabbath. It was Black Sabbath, I think.
With the Ozzy Osbourne. One of the things with that was but they were
actually it was Black Sabbath. It was shit. Okay. The movie Rockstar that what's his name? Mark Wahlberg was about that group. I'm trying to remember the name.
Okay. Well, that was kind of a composite. You're thinking of Judas Priest.
Thank you.
They were
the same ones, like as far as in the 80s.
Wasn't as far as Canadians thought?
No, I said the 80s. Like as far as the satanic shit?
No, they weren't. That's the thing. Okay. Judas Priest was never a satanic thing. Judas Priest was some fucking shitheads played a record backwards, and because of the way because of the way his breath intoned, they said that they were sending him suicide messages back mass in this whole thing, and he was telling him to do it. It didn't have anything to do with Satan.
But there was a suicide. Okay, whatever. Yeah.
But no, the Satan thing just reached through all of that type of music through this. Like Theater of Pain by Motley Crue, they put an upside down pentagram on the cover of the album, and that helped it sell another fucking 5,000 copies.
Right.
Somewhere, because it's Hail Satan. It was just a stupid fucking thing. And so it got there's a, like you saw with Eddie, with the metal, that there's just kind of a hand in hand from that 80s vibe. So I actually expected it more in this one than I did in like what Taika did with Thor. And I know I wasn't here for the Thor episode, and I watched it finally. Good Lord.
Oh, you like it?
No, I loved it, but I got definite things I can talk about.
Right.
Did you get your back slammed against a chair, or did you not watch it in 4D? Because
no, I didn't watch it in 4D. I thank God.
It's a good reminder how old you are if you do 4D.
Oh yeah, no. I watched Stella and I and Chrissy's mom. We went and saw Lightyear in 4D.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that'll get you an adjustment there. Yeah. So anyway, D&D.
Did the room shake when they kissed? When they had the lesbian kiss? Did that just rock the whole world?
Yeah. Oh, you should have seen it. People fucking booed. No.
The 1/8 of a second kiss.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyways.
Did they seriously boo?
No.
No. Okay. You never know, dude. These days, you never fucking know.
No. Yeah,
right.
It's true. No, it's still the Bay Area.
It's literally, it happens so fast, dude. Like, seriously, if you looked away, you wouldn't even know it happened.
Yeah, the reason why is because I remember when they preview for Spider-Man Spider-Verse, I was there with my dad, and this guy right next to us goes, "No."
Oh, like with Miles Morales?
Yeah, that Miles. It was at the Crow.
Fuck off. Just being
real.
Fuck off. I hate that. That's fuck that. You know what? And the hullabaloo, like Kevin said, it's like an 1/8 of a second. And the way that there was a segment of the internet treating it, it was like they fucking dropped down and started fucking scissoring each other in the fucking background or something. Like for 5 minutes.
Seriously, like that was the rage.
You're like, it was such a, and that was honestly, that was the beautiful, touching part about it. Mm-hmm. Was that it was just a kiss. It was just a kiss between two people watching their daughter. Like it was just it was just a little throwaway moment of, oh honey, mwah.
Yeah, it wasn't making out. It was literally like, I got home from work, my day is over. Yeah, good to see you. We kiss and we go on, and like, I don't understand. Like I don't get it.
Yeah,
I
don't
understand where everybody's coming from. Thor with Valkyrie being gay and Thor, right? Like that's okay.
But she
sexy, or
she was more gay than that scene.
Yeah.
Like, and like, because she had that moment where maybe it's because it's animated. I don't know, right? Because there's going to be more little kids there, and that's going to turn them to the devil or whatever. I don't know. Like I don't get it. It went by so fast, and it was so inconsequential. And maybe it's because it made it so normal. Like it was just so routine. Such a routine thing to happen.
You're normalizing
exactly, and that's exactly. But that's the problem, is that Disney has always been associated with family entertainment, and there's a segment of the population that does not view that as family. So
unless you're gonna add bestiality in, then it's okay, because the beast is sexy when he is not a beast. Then it's fun, right?
Awesome.
Oh, we got go watch The Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's a whole
So-
nother show.
So we're so far off topic.
Yeah,
that it's
back to
amazing.
SDCC. So yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, excited for it. What else? So we all apparently know my favorite moment from Dungeons and Dragons. I literally left carpet babies all over the place for that one. So what was your favorite? Well, let's save Andrew's favorite moment because I already know what it was till the end. No, Andrew, come on. Let's just talk about Black Panther. I know you're ready.
Wait a minute.
No,
I just jumped in.
To it.
We have a.
No, I'm joking.
We have a pattern we're following here. Hold on. You jumped in, Mister.
I know. I'm just
late to the show. So we got through all that shit, and that is everything. Other than they announced Star Trek Picard 3, season 3. All the original crew is back. They had their cool posters, and that's about it.
Okay, real quick, is that worth watching? Here's the thing. I'm in love with Strange New Worlds. Am I going to be disappointed because I'm in love with Strange New Worlds?
Did you watch Next Generation? They're two different shows.
Oh no, I know that
shows.
But
if you watch Next Generation and enjoyed Next Generation, then watch Picard. If you watch Strange New Worlds and you wonder if you should watch Picard, maybe not.
No. I watched all. Hold on.
No, because they're so different. Like I can understand somebody coming from Strange New Worlds and not enjoying Picard.
That's kind of what I'm asking. Don't Darmok and Gelada Tanagra, bro. I watched fucking next gen. Like I'm cool. I love Q, like all of it. Geordi's eyes, the whole fucking banana clip on its side, the best fucking cheap prop ever that they made look dope.
Mm-hmm.
I even enjoy the next gen movie. Anyway, Star Trek episode. But I'm saying, so does Picard feel like Next Generation?
No. It takes place in the future. All that stuff is broken down in the past. So he doesn't have his crew. He doesn't have anything, and he gets pulled back into shit. Like he is, when Picard starts in the beginning, he's effectively retired.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to be part of this shit. He is the Danny Glover. He's the I'm too old for this shit. And Andy
just jump in.
Your mom is teacher, Andy.
Well, there's 5 of us, so I don't want to overtalk, but I will absolutely say, I will humbly disagree that I think that all of these things are together.
I'm not saying they're not together. I'm just saying that, like, if you watch Strange New Worlds, there's a tone to that is entirely different than Picard. So if you're watching Strange New Worlds, then you may not be okay with Picard because
that was just kind of what I'm asking, because I'm in love with Strange New Worlds. It is, to me, the best Star Wars property since Next Generation, fucking hands down.
Totally.
And I love the JJ movies. Like, I thought that was a cool thing. But again, that's a whole Star Trek episode. So Picard season 3, that was just my thing. So it is something worth watching. Everybody who's watched it says
I'm going to watch season 3 because everyone's back. I heard season 2 sucked though. So.
Okay, continue. No. Or Andy, go. Yeah, I'm.
Season 2 is the Ultron season.
All the seeds are being planted. Fair. Okay.
Yes.
That's all I need to hear.
Yeah, and frankly, in season 2, there's ties to Strange New Worlds. Because
they go back in time, right?
Well, they go back to well before Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, it's not even that. I don't want to go too much into it for spoilers.
No, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's worth watching. Season 2 is slower than season 1, 100%.
But you get Q.
Yeah, I love Q.
Q is the best part. I've actually heard people like shed tears.
Oh, of course he is. He has to be. Like he's dope.
Yeah. It's all tied together, and just knowing now.
Hear me out. John Lackesy cast as the Dan Fielding style character in a Night Court reboot with Dan Fielding as the judge.
You're dismissed.
Yeah,
we're able to see you. It's like the voice of God. What?
You just edit that part out, right, Kevin?
Yeah. If God was sad and retired.
No, they're all, it's all tied together in a very loose knot right now, and I really think Picard season 3 and the next season of Stranger Worlds will be very, very succinct. I'm looking forward to it. It absolutely is how I feel about MCU right now, where there is no direction, but I have full faith in Kevin that this is all will tie together at some point.
There's a lot of direction now.
Well, yeah,
a whole lot of direction.
There is, but all those words behind you, Kevin, gives me no tie. Just a bunch of strings. I have no idea how they're tied together. Now, I know that Kevin is going to get them all tied, and they're going to be fantastic.
God, Kevin, this is when you use the mute button, for fuck's sakes.
I know, right? Anyway,
use that.
Actually, just to get us back to Star Trek before I take us away from Star Trek. Speaking of Strange New Worlds, they are actually going to do a crossover with Lower Decks next season, which is the animated series. Yeah,
I read that.
They're gonna cross those over, so that's pretty cool. I don't know if it's gonna be like some kind of fantasy weird shit where some of the characters are animated and some aren't, and or what they're gonna do. But yeah, they're gonna cross it over, so that'll be cool. Getting us ever so closer to Marvel without getting to Marvel, even though we're trying so hard to get there. DC had their presentations, and we talked a little bit about this before the show, but Shazam, the Shazam trailer dropped.
You can find the DC PowerPoint of their presentation online, because I heard that's really what they did, basically.
Well, sort of. When they announced Black Adam, they literally dropped The Rock in full costume with a lightning show behind him as if he was actually Black Adam, which is, like I said before, is like the most The Rock thing you can do at a fucking San Diego Comic-Con. But on the one hand, like, they know what they're marketing. They're marketing a Rock movie. That's the thing. It's not a DC movie. It's a Rock movie with a DC character. And one of the biggest heartbreaks for me is watching, and again, we talked about this a little before the show, but we'll get to Black Panther soon. But the thing that the Black Panther trailer does, and that Black Panther is going to do, is introduce this anti-hero character, Namor, against your heroes that are the Wakandans. And that's what Shazam and Black Adam should have done. For as much as I actually really enjoyed the Shazam trailer, and I'm excited might not be the right word, but I will see Shazam probably in the theater if even one of my kids wants to go.
It looks fun.
Yeah, like
I'll do it in the theater. It just looks fun. I feel like maybe they listened to us, and like the movie maybe has found its full tone, and it's figured out what it is, and it's not going to be like, haha, we're funny. Oh, here we're chucking a dude in a wheelchair out a fucking window.
Yeah.
Like it was very off-putting, and I think that's what some of Black Adam is going to be. And I think, Kevin, you and I are on the same fucking page with this one. Why isn't Shazam 2 Black Adam? Then give Black Adam a fucking movie. Oh my God, because that would be too successful idea that Marvel did.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing, like, it's just to prove how disjointed DC is. They said before their trailers that they're not going to do anything else in the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
And then they immediately in the Shazam trailer show all of the characters from the Snyderverse in the Shazam trailer, which I thought was really, really, just an interesting choice, right? You've got Batman, I'm like, okay. And then you've got The Rock on stage. Somebody asked him, could Black Adam beat Superman? And his response is, it depends on who's playing Superman. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, I get that The Rock he swings his big old Dwayne The Rock Johnson around, but like he's so The Rock now that everything that he does is about him, whether he wants it to be or not, right?
Oh, real quick, as a side note, not to jump back completely disjointed, but I was able to get a good laugh in the Thor in the theater when we were watching Thor. My daughter was thoroughly embarrassed when Hercules rips his Thor's garb off and he's standing there naked, and you get to see Hemsworth tushy. I just went, yes, queen. And the theater fucking cracked up in that moment, and my daughter, I watched her visibly slink down in her fucking chair because she knew it was me. Back to you, Kevin. I'm sorry, I just had to share that moment. Oh my God, we're gonna get to hear
Andy.
Andy
If we're
take
in
a
the
shit.
shitter, can you at least mute it, please?
What do you want?
We all know what a bathroom is, bro.
Yeah, whatever you're doing in there.
Let it play out. Let it play out, you guys.
Yeah.
We're getting into Marvel. He grabbed the lotion and went to the bathroom. I'm just saying.
I know.
For somebody
we
who
talked about
says
Thor's ass and he
disjointed,
ran to the bathroom. So
yes,
as much as I feel like throwing up a little bit now. Yeah, I mean that was it for DC. Like DC, notably absent, of course, was the Flash. Like they did not talk about the Flash at all.
I think there was going to be. I think that was going to be their focus.
Uh-huh.
I bet there's a pallet of fucking merchandise that is headed to Africa for that one day we can go over there and find, the wrong Super Bowl winner T-shirts and fucking all the Flash memorabilia that was going to get handed out at fucking Comic-Con is been donated to.
Why is there no Flash? What's the?
You haven't heard? Break it down, fellas.
Ezra Miller is a weird fucking dude. So like the way the news story slowly started to break was that at some point in the last many years, he started grooming this 12-year-old girl that she was Native American, I think, or half Native American or something like that. And he'd been grooming her since she was 12 years old. And as soon as she turned 18, they have since disappeared together. Her family is trying to get her back. She won't respond to any texts. She's 18, right? So they can't technically stop her from doing anything. But he's been texting her since she was 12. So it gets ultra creepy. He's disappeared, and then that actually came out after the 2 bar fights he got in Hawaii within the span of a week, right? And got arrested. And then it also came out that he's got some compound out here on the East Coast where he's got this woman and her baby living there to get away from her husband, who can't go see his wife and baby now. And then on top of that, on his social media or their social media, there's pictures of the baby holding a gun and chewing on bullets inside his house where he's got an arsenal of weapons. And then he
brilliant PR.
And then the last post he made on his social media before closing, it was something like, "They'll never catch me," or some weird shit like that. And then he was gone. So he is blacklisted himself to the point where DC will not talk about the Flash. If you notice when they do show the Flash in the Shazam trailer, they don't show his face. It's like DC is still ready.
Just so you know, to all of us, you just froze for a minute, and it looked like you were miming, you froze like this for 30 seconds.
No one goes into Mordor. No, that's what.
See, which is great because that's going to be your pause photo because I'm the one recording, so I didn't freeze.
Damn it.
But yeah, so he's fucking nuts, and DC knows it, and so they're in this position now where they have a $200 million movie that they filmed because they got the original Batman, they got Michael Keaton back, they got everybody for this movie, and their star fucked them. So right now, because for a hot minute they were we're just going to release it on HBO Max and pretend like it didn't happen. But then, the budget comes out and it cost $200 million to make. So that's a bath they can't afford to take.
So
right? You got to put it in theaters and try and make their money back.
I really at first, when we joked about it last week, and Andrew, you and I have talked about it a little bit, my first instinct was just put it out on HBO Max and go quietly to that good night. And I'm like, nope, you know what? I'm kind of, yes, this guy fucked up and he's a horrible, disgusting human being and wowzers. But you know what? Fuck it. Ride the publicity. Just release that fucking film in the theaters. Let us at this point, what's the worst that can happen?
Well, the worst thing that happens is you look like a company that only cares about money.
Exactly.
That's the problem. And people already question Warner, and they already question DC and all this stuff. And then DC's going to put out a movie and as much as I like hate the idea, and as much as I hate the idea, like I understand the business sense of it. $200 million is a lot of money to lose.
Which is why I'm saying you just got to release it in the fucking theaters. You got to recoup some of that somehow. You can't not. And I get the danger and the PR aspect of it, but at the same time, I think there would have been enough time elapsed that yes, it would have been it would have been a story.
Dark shit to say. I'm just so you already know where I'm going with this. This is some really dark shit to say. But if I were them, and I'm not saying they should do this, but in another universe, just bump them off, dude. So that way, like, it's like, oh, it's tragic. Like, he had some mental issues or whatever. He killed himself. No, that shit was totally set up. Then release your movie, lionize the guy, and make your money back. Like, that's what you should do. But again, that was some dark shit.
I'll tell you, just take the fucking thing, bring somebody in, deep fake somebody else in, and just make the exact same movie. Yes. Just like put somebody else's face on that film.
Tig Notaro, she did a fucking bang up job in fucking in what is it, Zombie Army? That fucking
she replaced with the Zack Snyder's movie on it.
No, you can do that. They've already talked about casting him. So just put fucking Elliot in the fucking just put Elliot Page in the fucking thing now. It can't be any. You can't have it any fucking weirder than it already is with what it's going on. So drop another 10 million into it and fucking splatter his face all over it. Fuck it.
Yeah, like, that would be their save. That would be their save. Yeah. But they're not going to because
they're Warner Brothers. At least they're not Sony, Kevin. At least they're not Sony. So
fuck Sony. They Madam Web. I can't wait to not watch that movie. Like. Just all of the garbage. Like, I love that Sony's like, you know what? We never wanted Marvel movies. We only wanted Spider-Man. And now they're like, you know what we're going to make? Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man in them. And only about their villains that nobody cares about. So we're going to make Morbius. We're going to make Madam Web. We're going to make Venom 3, which shouldn't... both Venom film... Yeah. Oh God.
Okay, that's the one. The Craven's the one that upsets me the most because he's some fucking. He's a hero
he's like a
now.
PETA activist. Like
no,
like what? He's Craven the Hunter. Like
no,
come on.
I'm all for you know what, like legit representation. I don't give a shit about cross cultural fucking casting at all. I that doesn't bother me. If it's a white guy and you want to cast a black guy, do it. If it's a fucking white lady and you want to cast an Asian lady, fucking do it. I don't care. Have fun with the story. Have fun with the characters. Yeah. You can't change the fundamental nature of a character. He was big as foe. He killed Spider-Man in there. He buried him.
Yeah.
Like you can't. Beavis.
His name is Craven the Hunter. If he's a problematic character, here's a crazy idea. Don't make the fucking movie. Like if he's
but why is he a problematic character? He's a big game hunter assassin. It's a phenomenal fucking
because everybody hates big game hunters right now. Big game hunters are bad.
So what? He should be a fucking bad guy. You're already, DC's doing fucking Black Adam. You've already done fucking Morbius. Why not shit all over this other beautiful thing that Marvel, that actually I'm pissed off Marvel didn't pull in as a fucking thing? Because Craven should have been held. And hey, you got the new fucking Daredevil reboot as a TV show coming on. A perfect baddie in that one would have been Craven to introduce into that fucking setup. That would have been a great fucking mix in there.
Yeah. So
sorry.
Yeah,
Craven's one of the only Spider-Man characters that I absolutely loved. Like I loved a lot of the Spider-Man storylines, but from the comics, I love the idea of the character. He's a big fuck you. He's a PETA activist now.
Yeah, he's like he loves animals. I'm like, he's Craven the Hunter. It's right there in the name. Like he does not like animals.
Okay,
he likes to wear animals.
Like unless you want to flip the script on this guy and do this and tell me this, that he's stalking through the African savannah killing poachers of lions.
Right, I'd take that, I guess.
I'll take that if you want to do that. But the dude at his nature, Craven the Hunter, needs to be killing motherfuckers.
Dude, his costume is a fucking lion's head around his chest. Like, anyways, we're so. Once again, that sort of brings us to Marvel, which was, of course, like the biggest event at San Diego Comic-Con. It'll be the biggest event at D23, like we talked about.
Oh,
Marvel. Marvel runs the universe right now. They have announced that we are coming to the end of phase 4. Phase 4 will end, and this is a little out of order because they dropped the Black Panther trailer at the end of Comic-Con. Which, to be honest, if I was there for 3 days and that's the last thing I saw, I'd be pretty fucking pumped to walk out those doors after that. They announced that She-Hulk and then Black Panther 2 is the end of phase 4, which to me, number one, we can talk about the Black Panther trailer as much as we want since we're there. But I'm also, for as pumped as I am for that movie, as beautiful as it looks, as amazing as the Chadwick poster is in the background, you got all that stuff. I want to know what those fucking post-credit scenes are that basically say this is the end of phase 4. We are starting phase 5, because there's going to be something in there. That's when the tie-in is going to land. That's when the thing Andy is looking for is going to land, because that's exactly what happened in phase 1. It's the first time we saw Thanos. It's the first time we started putting that puzzle together.
I really recommend, if anybody wants to take a few seconds, go to YouTube. There's a comicbook.com. They're a blogger thing, and there's a dude that gets a nice short little interview with Mr. Feige, and they talk about just this and how many, one of the big complaints is we've got like 55 hours of this and this and that. And he's like, yeah, his explanation of it is great as to where they are and why you've got this time, and that the through line is coming. It's there, but when you look at what they did with Avengers and where that was the cap of a saga. Mm-hmm. And now you're starting an entire new saga.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I said that in our conversation one night too, again, is that this is phase 1 of a new story.
There was no, you got to think back.
An unfair comparison to the climax of a story versus the beginning of a story.
And you got to think back. You got to think back to phase 1 of the original Marvel movies.
But what you're missing though is that there were no TV shows running adjacent to it. So we're getting a lot more content now versus phase 1, where you only had 3 movies and then the Avengers. So to me, to compare the two is apples to oranges.
I'll give you that.
A lot more content.
I agree, but at the same time,
so it's like
all the people that are in Andy's boat that want to see that tie-in.
The pacing was off.
I get that.
I get that. The pacing was off. But what I'm hearing though, as far as like the end of Black Panther, is it's probably going to be Doom, because we've got Riri, who's basically the Ironheart, and some sort of like technology that she gets or whatever came from Victor Von Doom, and he's going to be the okay, now we're going to get the reveal that Doom's behind.
I wonder how much if he pops up there, how much he'll tie into phase 4, because phase 5, and I'll list off that stuff and maybe we can put it together ourselves. But I think he might come into play more in the middle, because Ironheart drops somewhere in the middle. She has a series in phase 5, but you're going to kick off phase 6 with the Fantastic Four, which is a great place for Doom. And then Doom is a huge part of the Secret Wars. Yes. So, that you got that
I also think, really quick, Andy, and then I'll let you jump in real quick, just because I'm going to lose this thought. I also think, and this is a little bit of tie-in from Thor, I already think the through line has been there. Mm-hmm. And we're looking at it actually going back to the Eternals when we kicked it off. Because if you've got a little tie in there, because if you remember that the big fucking dude, whatever his name is, Ironhead, looks like a diving bell guy, in Thor Ragnarok, when they're at that,
there's 2 of them there.
There's 2 of them kicking it there in that God City, Eternity, or whatever the hell it was called.
No, Eternity is the other one. It was
whatever it was called.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. It was a fucking orgy of stupidity. Anyway, but I think the through line is already going to be there. And I think it's the pieces as we go here are going to start falling in line a little more. I think I love what you're saying about Doom. That's a great idea. And I'd love Doom more. But I also think Marvel might go a different direction with that, because we've already got these giant world killer like things, and let's pull Galactus into it first.
They're so different than Galactus, though. That's the thing.
I know, but that would be my only. They are, but him being some sort of a thing like that, or them kind of pushing that as I like the idea of Doom, I really do, but I think they may want to pull back on that because that's what we did in the last movie. That's what we did in the first one, and he is that classic Fantastic Four villain. But let's be real, Fantastic Four is going to be another franchise in this Marvel setup. It's gonna be multiple fucking movies, right? Um, I'm holding off honestly view on any of that until we hit D23, because then we're gonna get a lot more information about what that's gonna look like.
I actually feel like I feel like even at this year's D23, we're not going to get a lot about Phase 6. I think they're going to leave that open for a while because as soon as they start really announcing what's in there, then people are going to lose their shit. And the other problem that you have with Phase 4 and that you started to have with Phase 3, and you see it everywhere else in fucking everything now, is that if you give the audience too much information, they start losing their shit when some dumbass theory doesn't pan out.
Yes.
That nobody agreed with. So
yes,
like you got to leave that stuff open-ended.
Yes.
And let Andy talk before his nose falls off.
Yes, I'm sorry, Andy.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But it's perfect because as much as Kevin has behind him, I think that's half as much as we'll see half as much more.
Oh yeah.
This whole corner here is 3 movies for an entire phase. Everything else is Phase 5 except for Wakanda and She-Hulk.
Right.
So,
But there's so much that there's probably twice as much that we'll see in the next 24 months than what's behind you. I think, at least. I mean, there's just too much. There's no way you have 2 Avengers movies with just what we see behind you. I mean, there's not enough property behind you to make 2 Avengers movies. There's just not. There needs to be at least 5 more. I mean,
that's going to be Phase 6, basically.
Well, Phase 6, yeah. So
I know what you're saying. You're looking at Secret Wars. You're looking at, or
Secret Wars get all set up, right? Like it's.
I know. I get what Andy's going through like that, because here's the thing, dude. I don't want to say you're thinking Infinity Saga, but you're thinking Infinity Saga where they were not just building up that, they were building the entire Marvel universe at that point. So I think it made sense the way we were jumping, do individual character movies to build that whole world. And I think we're going to get some of that still going forward. I mean, Thunderbolts, for Christ's sake, is the Marvel version of Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Yeah, and we know who they are. Like, that's the thing too, is they're all already there. Or at least most of them.
No, that's all true. But I'm saying, like, we won't have a week where we won't have something to watch in about 3 months from now.
I wonder about that. If because of exactly what Andrew's been talking about, and the way that Feige came out and actually prepped us for Comic-Con, right? And saying, hey, there's stuff coming, just chill the fuck out, right? Like, it's basically, and if everybody is sitting back and feeling like there's too much content and not enough direction, I don't know that they're going to jam a whole lot more into Phase 5.
Yeah.
Like, if you put too much in there, it's the same as, you're feeding people too much to get upset about.
And to answer that in another aspect of that, like, because Andrew, on comments that we get all in huffy with people on about in Facebook, they talk about like the superhero lag, or
fatigue and all that bullshit. Yes.
Yeah. The thing that Marvel is doing, and I think this is what's neat, and this is why I love all the content we've been getting, especially on the TV, and with everything that we're looking at here behind Kevin, Marvel is showing us that they are part of Disney, and then there is an ass for every fucking seat. And you've got Ms. Marvel. That's an untapped fucking segment of representation of people.
Huge.
You've got, Ironheart coming up. We've got, you've got Agatha, the series coming up, bouncing off of, people who love that, who love the WandaVision thing. Yeah. Loki season 2, boom. She-Hulk looks fun and fucking hilarious. Like that trailer, if you've not watched that trailer, go watch that fucking trailer.
Yeah,
it is 2 minutes and 30 seconds to just fucking.
No, I will watch it. She-Hulk just struck me as David E. Kelly's version of.
No,
it may. No, to be honest, it may very well be. Like I would think so. It'll be funnier.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But the She-Hulk comics were funny.
It's an insult because again, David E. Kelly. I mean, shoot, he was one of the people who.
He's amazing.
Martin Downey Jr.
Oh, okay, look,
you know Robert Downey Jr.
Yes,
he was on that damn show.
Okay, that damn show. First off, I'm gonna quick fucking tangent. Ally McBeal is a phenomenal fucking show. People talk shit about that show and brand it as that it's like perfect for its little time period. Catch some Ally McBeal rerun somewhere if it's streaming somewhere. That show's fucking amazing.
I actually met and got a picture with Lisa Nicole Carson. She was eating at Patsy's Pizzeria right across from where I live. And I'm like, that's Lisa Nicole Carson. And we actually I walked up to her and talked to her, got a picture and everything. It was awesome. Anyway.
Didn't David E. Kelly do Boston Legal?
Yes.
Practice? Yes, Boston Legal is amazing. Give me and Boston She-Hulk is Boston Legal.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think this is where, all right, here's our woke segment for the evening. This is where we still have a long way to go, where we instantly assume because she's a female character that is going to be Ally McBeal, and then she's not going to be fucking
saying that though. I'm just saying that
Denny Crane. But that's what I'm saying though. I feel like the vibe I'm getting, Kevin, you just hit it on the head, and I forgot that was a David E. Kelly production. It does. The little bit of legal stuff that they've thrown in there, and with what they're showing us, I do feel more of maybe a Boston legal humor in it than an Ally McBeal.
Well, that's David E. Kelly. I said David E. Kelly.
I think it too, when you're talking about the wider universe of the MCU, I think this is another lead into the Thunderbolts. Like her job here is to legally represent or prosecute, depending on where they go with it, superheroes, supervillains, and what they're going to do with them. Well, the Thunderbolts have all these guys. Like she's going to end up in the Thunderbolts. Abomination's going to end up in the Thunderbolts. Like,
okay, I have a question for as someone who did not ever read comic books and didn't know, you guys all freaked out when you saw 2 new Avengers movies. Is that because it's Avengers movies, or you said Secret Wars?
Secret Wars is a big deal, and I can't even front, but it's a fucking huge deal. That's all I know. People have been talking Secret Wars since the dawn of time.
Yeah,
Secret Wars. People have been kind of begging for that for a long time, and the other one being called the Kang Dynasty. Kang is a huge villain in the Marvel comics. Like he's not necessarily like the strongest of superheroes, but his ability to travel through time and fuck with shit makes him a very interesting character.
And he was introduced to us in Loki.
Correct.
Basically.
Right.
So it's already been there. I know it's so much to talk about, and I don't want to.
But I feel like if you look at the stuff that's behind us, you've got 2 timelines building. Yeah. Essentially to each one of those films, because you've got Ant-Man's going to have Kang. Loki, I'm sure, will somehow have Kang in it.
I think Loki's going to launch Kang, and I think Loki.
Well,
season
it already
2
has.
No, but I mean, really launch the like that Kang as the bad guy for Quantumania and where that's going to fit in.
Well, it's after Quantumania. Quantumania is
that's right,
February or something like that.
Interesting.
So and then down the other timeline, you've got the Thunderbolts, you've got your Secret Wars stuff, which is Fantastic Four, Secret Invasion, all that stuff. Yes. And I think somewhere in there's this third timeline that we're not being shown yet that's a little more supernatural. So you got Agatha, you got Blade, you've got Black Knight, you've got these other guys that don't really fit into either of those stories.
Moon Knight.
So interesting to see. Yeah, see where they. I could see them shoehorning Moon Knight and the Thunderbolts.
So what are they going to do with Thunderbolt Ross being dead? At least the actor.
Recast
William Hurt. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's a big role to recast for as basic as he was.
It is, but if we're gonna keep Eric Bana as this is canon anyway, and it's a different character that's playing the fucking Hulk.
Well, Eric Bana is not.
That's what I'm saying though. From the first one, since that one is the canon Hulk, and in the verse where we got the Abomination, where we got.
I think you're talking about what's his name, not Eric Bana.
Yeah, you're talking about Ed Norton.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Ed Norton. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ed Norton one. That since Ed Norton is, I mean, we've already.
And we recasted Rhodey too, so I guess it can be done.
You know, it can be done. In this case, it has to be done. Like if you're going to have the character in there, it's a bummer. I mean, William Hurt is a big name to replace.
Deep fake William Hurt.
No, but I mean, look at fucking Harry Potter. They recast what's his face
Dumbledore.
as Dumbledore,
Yes.
and
It
nobody
works
cares
amazingly
like
well.
it ultimately. So
Yeah,
I think they're fine, and the understanding is there. Going back to Black Panther, I don't think it would have worked to just replace Chadwick Boseman.
No,
because that's too critical. And I'm glad they didn't. I still don't know what they're actually doing.
Well, I think what they're doing is, frankly, and I think it's really smart, is the real hero of this movie is going to be Wakanda itself and the people themselves. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and it would have been so easy to just recast them, and that's what any other studio would have done. And I refrained from saying that on my page because people think I'm just fucking all throating Marvel, but it's true. It's like, no, Marvel is different. Marvel Studios, like I have to say, is different than any other studio that's ever existed on the fucking universe. So yes, any other studio would have recasted fucking Shahala, and then people would have been like, oh yeah, it's fine, like that's the best we can do. No, Marvel Studios and Ryan Coogler, frankly, is like, no, we can do better, and we will do better, and we'll show them how it's done. You can't just tell people what's better, show them how it's done. And so when I saw that fucking trailer, that exceeded my expectations. Going into this shit, I was very worried. I'm like, okay, so homeboy from Nope, like Daniel Kaluuya is like, I'm out, So I'm thinking, okay, he saw some shit. And basically pieced out. But no, when I saw that No Woman, No Cry, when I saw the fact that everyone's coming together, when I see that they're bringing in the mural, it's like, it's almost, it's very.
And when Angela Bassett is giving her speech.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I was like, she's bad.
Speaking of Angela Bassett, another quick tangent of just something I just randomly watched this week. Go back and watch What's Love Got to Do with It if you've never seen that movie. No, not just you. I'm saying anybody who's listening to this or any of these, for people here with us. What's Love Got to Do with It is one of the best movies ever made, and Angela Bassett and fucking Furious Styles are just fucking
Lawrence Fishburne
are just, he's always going to be Furious Styles to me. I'm sorry. It's just an amazing fucking movie, and Angela Bassett is just fucking phenomenal as Tina Turner. Going back.
Yeah. So anyway, the fact that they didn't recast, and actually, I think they're really going to do justice not only to the memory of T'Challa, to Chadwick Boseman, but actually, because the other thing that was really tough, I think, was Black Panther in and of itself was a very strong film. And if I was anyone involved in that production, I would have been terrified. How do we top this? How do we top this? How do we at least repeat this? And I think that they're on track to do so, because it was a strong movie. The plot wasn't like that profound per se, but it had profound layers. And that to me is what made the movie amazing. Okay. There was the weakest part of it was maybe the CGI fight in the subway, whatever.
Sure. That's that's my only complaint about that.
But it's like, but it was a fucking amazing movie, right? So how do we top this? Especially without our fucking star. But
you know how we do it? Well, I was not worried about this movie legit. From the minute I found out that Kugna was still involved in it, and that he was doing part 2, knowing how close the two of them were, mm-hmm. Chadwick Boseman and Ryan Coogler, I really feel like this, and why it's called Black Panther Wakanda Forever. A lot of people, those theories going, it's going to be Shuri, it's going to be, another one of the Dora Milaje that we don't even know yet, or this or that. I think this is going to be, like you said, Andrew, the hero is going to be the Wakandan people, but this is going to bring us the next Black Panther. This is where it's going to come.
Well,
I don't think we're going to have Black Panther until the end.
Yeah. It might actually be multiple. And I also heard a theory that Shuri might take it, but she's not going to be queen. Like someone else will be the monarch of the nation, but
I would love that.
Would be like the Panther, like the defender. But either way, we're splitting it up, and that's the other thing I loved about Black Panther too, frankly, because we're gonna get woke now. He was made special by the people around him. And when I say people around him, I mean women. I mean, it really is a feminist film in that they're the ones who make it happen, basically. And he would be nothing without them. Nothing. So it's like, that's what we're going to see. And I'm getting chilly talking about it. So anyway.
Yeah, I'm stoked for it. I am with Pete. I was never concerned about this movie. I knowing that Ryan Coogler was still involved and seeing what he did in the first one. I mean, of course, there's a fear that without Chadwick Boseman, there's going to be an issue. And I still don't know, like, how you write out T'Challa, because, I mean, you got to do something. Like, does he die off screen? Do we just, like, I'm not worried about that, but I am curious about it. Like, I want to know what they're going to do. And then to see where they go forward from there. Like, and they've said, like, this, there's a chunk of this movie that is a tribute to Chadwick Boseman in its own way. And I 100% trust Ryan Coogler to do that. Like, and so, I'm pumped for it. And the trailer is amazing. And then you've got the whole Namor storyline, which I think they've done a brilliant thing by making him, Aztec and bringing in this other. He's going to be Atlantean in some way. Like, they're going to talk about Atlanteans and all that, but it's going to
come the whole Aztec vibe from it.
Yeah, well, he's literally like the actor is Latino.
Oh, yes. And if we'll hold on for 2 seconds on that one, if you notice in that birthing scene underwater, I had to watch the trailer like 3 times before I really realized what was going on there, because I like Namor clicked in, but I wasn't realizing, like, underwater birth and this and that. Yo, it's just hair floating in water. It's not $50 million worth of CGI to make it float elegantly. That's what I've already loved about that in every little underwater bit that we've seen so far. It doesn't look hokey as Aquaman fuck. That's all.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry. This movie's going to be fucking amazing.
Right.
And
so that, that really does bring us to phase 5, right? Because we're going to finish with Black Panther 2 and phase 4. And before we even talk about it, I'm just going to list everything off that is known for phase 5 at this point. And that's Ant-Man, Quantumania, Secret Invasion, and I believe this is an order. So Ant-Man, Secret Invasion, Guardians 3, Echo, The Marvels, which sounds like might actually be semi-musical. The Marvels is Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel.
Huh.
And who's Monica Rambeau. Then after the Marvels, you've got Loki. Then you've got Blade. Then you've got Ironheart, Agatha Harkness, Daredevil, the new Captain America, and then it finishes phase 5 with Thunderbolts.
You guys saw the Daredevil in the
cameo
in the She-Hulk?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. My biggest, I don't know if it's like a bummer. I don't know if I'm disappointed. I don't know if I'm excited. Like, I love Daredevil. I love Charlie Cox. He's awesome as Daredevil. I want all the Daredevil in the world, but I'm almost disappointed that it's not a Daredevil movie. And I go back and forth, but they've announced that it's going to be like 18 episodes. Yeah, and that worries me. Like, that's too much content for a show in streaming these days. Like, most streaming shows are 6 to 8 to 10 episodes. And I worry that they're going to do too much with it that is boring or that is not as exciting.
Kevin, on board. I am concerned as well. Although I will say that there's been so many movies I've seen, like even like The Gray Man I watched today. Gray Man was great, but it would be so better in like 8 episodes. It would have been like incredible. Like, it would have been so good if I could have watched 4 hours of that show. I don't know. Like, I'm excited that it does seem too long. It does seem way too long. But at the same time, like, there's so much story to tell. Like, I'm excited to see it. Like, I'm on board. I'm totally on board. I'm I'm almost on board for more more series, more shows that are series and not movies than not, really.
I'm not worried about it at all because we all loved season 4 of Stranger Things, and that was close to 12 and a half hours worth of content.
There you go.
In a matter of like 9 episodes.
There you go.
Even if all 18 of these are an hour fucking long, you know what? I am so excited that somebody's taking 18 fucking hours to tell a story.
Yeah.
Fucking have at it, bro. And you know what? Even if you do it as 18 half an hours, if that's the way you want to tell your story, that's still fucking 9 hours of content. Dude, tell me your story the way you want to tell me your story. I love it.
Preach, motherfucker, preach.
Yeah, I'm excited at the idea of 18 fucking hour-long episodes of Daredevil. Bring that on. See, that's the thing. That Daredevil, if you're doing 18 hour-long episodes of Daredevil, and we're talking about Daredevil being street level, Daredevil's leading to Thunderbolts. We've already got Daredevil teaming into She-Hulk.
Spider-Man will be in it. Spider-Man will be in it too.
There's no guarantee about Spider-Man because we don't even know if Tom Holland's sticking around.
But here again, there's that through line where we're building in Secret Wars and things like that, and the fallout through that, and the way all this stuff is building through. Give me 18 hours. I'm cool with it. Let that shit roll.
And like I've been saying,
I'm not even a huge Daredevil fan. I love the Netflix film, and I'm interested to see what Disney or the Netflix series. I love to see what Disney's going to do with it. I like that they're going to treat what happened before as canon. I will tell you this though. Let's be real. It's going to have a different tone because it's Disney. It's not going to be as dark, which I'm okay with. That's gonna be okay. Maybe it'll be a little more lighthearted.
I don't know. I think they're gonna. I think they have to go more towards Netflix than Disney for that to work, because the people that are on board for that show are the people that wanted Charlie Cox back, the people that wanted Daredevil back. They want the Netflix version, and you can lighten it, but if you just go Disney, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, bullshit.
It's not going to work.
You got to go towards. You got to go. Frankly, you got to go towards art. You got to go towards.
I'm already watching Logan and Deadpool on Disney Plus. Okay,
right.
They've already made it play. The parents groups are already protesting, but you know what? The fact that they're on Disney right now, it's kind of fucking cool. So I think they know what they're doing. They've already added on Disney Plus, so now they know they're setting the tone. They're tilling the soil for them to tell darker stories. So maybe Blade can go art. You never know. What I was gonna just say really quickly is just a piggyback off of what Andy said is, you know, honestly, for phase 4, I preferred the shows to the movies, honestly. And I think that also, you know, I think back to, not a tangent, but when I think back to Ready Player One, I think that would have made a much better TV series than a movie. So I do think that, you know, the idea of making episodes is not a bad thing. And I don't think TV is no longer necessarily this downgrade from the movie platform. I think TV is actually the best storytelling format. And thank you for saying it, Pete. Stranger Things at season 4, fucking epic, and would have been better than anything at the movies.
And I think the gotcha there is that you can't make $1 billion off of a TV show.
No, yes, you can.
Right. No, you can't.
No. Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
There's no $1 billion TV. Game of Thrones wasn't $1 billion franchise, and that was the hottest show on television.
I don't think, and that's you have Daredevil and Punisher, and
but those aren't the money makers anyways. Yeah,
they don't need to be. They don't need to be, because they're your downstream, but they also don't have to be expensive. The cost to make them is down, because you don't need a $20 million practical shooting budget and a $50 million effects budget for you know, one movie or one Daredevil season. That, you know, I think that's part of the problem why Iron Fist failed, is that they went too low budget on it. I love the RZA.
No, they cast the wrong guy. That was the problem with Iron Fist. That was the big, and the kung fu was weak. Like,
for a show that was supposed to be all kung fu, the fighting was better in fucking Daredevil, and like
for sure,
Daredevil series, than the fucking kung fu dude was. And I'm sorry, you know what? Why can't Danny Rand just be Asian? Like right. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't, you know, it changed that from the comic book too. I don't need the blonde white rich guy to do it. Make him that one, flip the script on that one. and that's the other one that we haven't talked about. Where's that going to fit in? One of the successful Marvel movies here in Phase 4 that we keep leaving out is Shang Chi. Nobody's talked about where he's going to slide in with this, and that one.
To me,
he's 100% an Avenger.
Exactly. There you go.
But where's his next film? Where's Armor Wars, which they have talked about, which is in pre-production with Don Cheadle.
Yes.
Like that's a thing. Like that's happening. And as a matter of fact, today the head writer of the show said he just had a post on Instagram stories. It's just a black post with text says, "Don't worry, it's still happening." That's all he said. So Armor Wars is coming somewhere in here. What's the other one? Deadpool 3. Andy said Deadpool 3. That's happening.
Yeah.
And it's in the MCU. So, where's that? So there's definitely a few more things in Phase 5. I just hope they don't overdo it. Like that's the only thing. Like if the complaints we're seeing about Phase 4 are that we have so much content without direction, even though I feel like we have direction, and I felt like that for a while. I felt like that since, the first time what's her face, Julie Louis-Dreyfus showed up. As soon as she showed up and was recruiting people, I was like, I know that direction. As soon as Kang showed up with Loki, I knew that direction. I know they're not the same direction, or at least not likely the same direction, but like those are directions. Like people might not like the directions, understand them, but those are directions. So like that I was fine with. But if people's complaint is there's too much content for me to figure out where everything's going, then adding more content is dangerous.
All these people bitching about the too much content also on the internet, I want to just look down at them like I do my little beautiful ADHD 10-year-old daughter and go, just watch the fucking thing. It'll explain it. Just watch it. Just be quiet and watch it. Stop asking questions. Stop asking for a through line because you can't see it yet. We kind of knew where Thanos was going, but let's be real. No one knew the epic scale that the Russo brothers were going to give us with Infinity Wars and Endgame. We had no idea. We have little bits and pieces and building blocks. I see with the multiverse and Quantumania, I'm starting to see something gel, which is good, but there's definitely a through line coming through this with different realities, and we've got the mystical coming in. I think it is going to be multiverse and the collision of all these universes going through. That's why we're going to have the Secret Wars. I definitely feel like everyone who's complaining just needs to shut the fuck up and chill. Like for 5 minutes, let this shit happen. Like everything that from the jump off that we've had from WandaVision, it was different. It was instantly different than everything we had just spent 10 years watching. Everything has been different.
Well, and that's the thing too. WandaVision universally worked. Like everybody still loves WandaVision. Eternals maybe didn't work in the same way, but in both of those things, those were something wildly different than anything Marvel has done. They were both a gamble. Like
I don't know if you remember though, but there are a lot of people who were not liking WandaVision in the beginning. Like I liked it from the jump.
For sure.
There were a lot
of people
who were like, "Oh, this is fucking weird. Like, why? What's going on?" Like, like they were not in it until episode 4, basically. But so I think people are fickle. But yes, I think overall WandaVision is highly regarded in the end. I agree with you.
It is now, yeah.
Yes.
And by the time it was done, it was. But when you're right, when it started, there were a lot of people that were iffy. Loki was the same way. Like Loki is generally liked, but there were a lot of things about Loki that people complained about. And that's the other thing too, is that if you look at social media when the MCU was starting, was a lot more chill, 12 years ago than it is now. Like social media is a much angrier, much more vocal place than it was. And so everybody complains about all this stuff. So
it's an ugly fucking beast.
You get more complaints than you used to about stuff. It's just the nature of the beast. It used to be that the people that we looked to tell us if a movie was good was Roger Ebert and like 4 other people. And now it's some dillhole writing a story on some fucking website we've never heard of that, the title of the article is referenced once in paragraph 58 of their garbage, article. So like, what's the giant freaking robot? And
Don't trust that.
We got this covered. Those are the most
Yes,
garbage
those are too.
websites, and that shit gets posted like gospel all the time. And I'm like, you're stupid.
See,
If
I
you
think
post that as gospel, you're an idiot.
I think so much of those are. Even Andrew and I not got into it on Facebook, but we looked at it. Even BuzzFeed to me is fucking ridiculous. Because if you saw that stuff with Taika Waititi about how he complained about well, oh yeah, running up that hill, that he would have used a
that was taken so far out of context.
It's one question of 12 in a fucking interview, and it's like one answer to a question, and it's so offhanded, and they skip everything else in the article that was actually really informative and cool. That could have been a positive thing, and it was Taika Waititi hates Stranger Things because they used Kate Bush, and Kate Bush belongs to me. We all have possession of music. Like, if you read his actual statement, I get it. Kate Bush in the 80s was a UK artist who was really big in New Zealand and Australia.
Oh.
And Kate, and so it was part of his growing up. It was part of his youth. So I understand the ownership that he feels towards that. I feel ownership. It's okay. It's akin to, fuck you. I was listening to Green Day when they were at Gilman. All you fuckers that now like them, because they're listening at Dookie. It's an ownership like that, and it is a little bit of gatekeeping,
yes.
But it's also like the fabric of your memory, and there are huge memories and senses tied to music. I mean, music is in of itself a time machine. You hear a certain song and it brings you back to a time and space, at a certain place. So it's I think the way that a lot of times they just clickbait the shit out of one question when everything else in the entire interview was just fun little statement about music and Guns N' Roses and everything else. It's just bullshit. And fucking, Bernadette of the Bernadette blog in her fucking jammies in her basement writing about how she didn't like X, Y, or Z. Fuck her. Why are you being reposted? And nothing.
Here's what I'll say though. I think that as long as it's true, I think it's valid. But I think we got this covered, and Giant Freaking Robot posts a lot of things that are not true.
Oh yeah,
as
gospel truth. Yeah,
I've said before, like, to anybody that's like trying to quote them, I'm like, look, dude, the stories that come out of We Got This Covered is like somebody was in a bathroom in a bar and heard somebody say something about Marvel,
Hollywood Insider said,
and they're like, that's legit. And I'm like, dude, you heard it from a dude doing coke off the fucking toilet bowl dispenser.
I will give this one site called Cosmic Book News. They're actually pretty right-wing, though, so I left them. Matt McGowan's the guy. He called Endgame. I remember immediately after Infinity War, he said, we have it on authority. The next movie is going to be called Endgame. And they were saying that we're in the Endgame now. He called that shit. I followed them, but until I was just seeing way too much, like, again, right-wing shit, I left. What I was gonna say, I know we're running close in time, is it's funny because you mentioned Taika Waititi, and even he says they had to change. Running Up That Hill apparently was going to be in Love and Thunder. They had to take that shit out because Stranger Things used it. Well, if on that same token, I kind of think if I was making Dungeons and Dragons, if like Thor already got all that fucking like classic rock shit in there, I might change my approach. I mean, yes, it makes sense that like, but people are going to think, oh, you're just copying that. Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying, yes, I am saying, I'm saying if I were the filmmakers, I would change my approach because you're not operating in a vacuum, because Taika didn't realize that and changed his shit. You might want to rethink because you do look a bit Me Too-ish in that. That's all I'm saying.
No, I totally get what you're saying, and it's a valid argument. I think that was one of the things, though, that kind of, not to backtrack it, I don't know if you guys want to talk about this, and then we can close it out real quick, but I liked Thor. Okay, I really, it was a great movie. I had a lot of problems with it that I just ignored and didn't care about, like the Guns N' Roses thing. I liked it just running itself throughout the whole thing, but I think Taika overused it. I think part of the magic in Ragnarok was when Immigrant Song plays when he's fucking leaping out of the fender. Like, that was absolutely perfect. And I think that's why I don't think, again, I could be wrong, I don't think we're going to hear a lot of that heavy metal music in Dungeons and Dragons. I think it was a good choice using and tying that kind of nostalgia into it. And I think they used just enough of that Led Zeppelin song in the trailer to give me a feeling, but not a thing. Like, we knew before Love and Thunder came out, we knew that fucking Sweet Child of Mine was going to be a fucking thing on that, which I have to say, I'm sorry, at the end of Thor, I fucking loved that. The whole there was, I'm sorry, I hated parts of the movie, but I fucking loved the movie as a whole. The goats were fucking hilarious.
Yes.
I loved the goats throughout. That was fucking hilarious. Yes. I loved Baby Thor. I loved fucking Jane. I loved the way they handled all that. I thought it was all beautiful.
My favorite part of the fucking movie.
I really did. I know why Kevin doesn't like her. It's the same reason he doesn't like Affleck. But
no. I love Natalie Portman. I think she is not funny. And they should not have made her a comedic character. She could have had funny lines, but she should not have been the comedy relief that she was.
No,
she
but see, that's
funny.
She was, but that's what I love though, because she was almost a form of the straight man for Thor in a way.
Like, she was too funny. It just didn't. It did not, like, every joke she had did not land for me. I was like, she might as well be Brie Larson in Captain Marvel. Like, it's just like she's just not funny.
Words.
And I fucking love Natalie Portman. I've loved Natalie Portman since The Professional. I don't need to, like, when she was in Thor, the original Thor, I was like, I fucking, I love me some Natalie Portman. But she's not funny. Like every line she had, I was like, give that line to Tessa Thompson, give her the dramatic line, and we're good. God. So
Tessa Thompson, I really did think it was he leaned way too into it. It was a comedy with action in so many ways. And a lot of the comedy didn't work as well as you want it to. I think he doubled down on that from Ragnarok. I absolutely love the way it ended, though. I love the thing with him and the little girl. I love the infinite possibilities of that. I love him back with Mjolnir. And I'm sorry, the whole thing with Mjolnir, the way fucking breaks apart and like destroys shit, comes back. That's fucking dope. And that little girl was Stormbringer, dude. That was so fucking rad. Like, I'm waiting to see what they do with that. I have no idea if that's a real character in the Marvel universe, or if that is, or if that could just be something original that they're adding to it right now, that she's going to be,
they may have doing that. That's his actual daughter. So I don't know how much of that was just like, let's bring your family to this, because both of his sons played him at some point in the movie, I think.
Yeah.
So it was definitely that. But interesting, like I was going to say about the whole music thing, is that I was watching a different podcast and they were talking about this, and the issue that you have is the reason we're seeing Stranger Things, the reason that we're seeing the next Star Wars show be a show about kids in a very Stranger Things-esque kind of storyline in Star Wars, the reason you're seeing Guns N' Roses and all this other music is because the people that are making movies now, this is what they grew up on. So this stuff is coming back full circle because this is what they loved and they want to share it with people. And so when Taika happens to be the same age as the Duffer Brothers and they're coming up at the same time and they're going to use music from their youth, they're using the same shit. You're battling for the same stuff. So it's a tough battle, when we all grew up with Nirvana. You're going to see Nirvana in 5 more years be all over the place. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's just interesting to see how this stuff gets recycled, and the creativity and the even just the idea of stories. Like the guys that are coming up now are the people that grew up on the Explorers, that grew up on ET, that grew up on all these
Goonies,
kids adventure stories. So now we're seeing more kids adventure stories.
Flight of the Navigator.
Again, fuck yeah, Flight of the Navigator. Never remake that movie, just re-release that movie.
It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I need to watch it. But yeah,
was there anything else announced at Comic-Con? I mean, we did the Marvel. I waxed poetically way longer than I wanted to about Dungeons and Dragons, but was there anything else that anybody saw that they were really excited about?
The only thing I'll say is that I'm looking forward to seeing Shazam in the movies. I don't think we really gave that much love, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. It'll be a good, fun movie for the Christmas time.
Agreed, 100%. Like I'm really hoping just even one of my kids is excited about seeing it. If I only take one kid to see that movie, I'll be happy because I want to see it, but I'm not going to go see it by myself. It's too far away.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a ton of others. No, same with Shazam. I'm interested to go see. I'm gonna go see it in the movie theater. It just looks like it will be a fun time. It just nothing with the D&D world. I'm just going through this little list. Oh, they've announced we got kind of our first look. I really enjoyed the National Treasure movies with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, we talked about that right before you jumped on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how he's not in the series.
No,
it's the other guy that they're kind of working around. So I'm curious about that. I don't know how stoked I am for it or not, but I do love
I love that kind of
movie.
Indiana Jones kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I think we've needed a series like that. Like I said, my love for the Librarians, the very low budget TNT show with Noah Wiley and Rebecca Romaine and the library, like, has been well documented on this fucking show. So I think it's a good time we've missed a kind of that kind of voice and show in the things. We're getting a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and another Ninja Turtle sequel coming.
That's not a movie though. That's a comic.
It's comic, but still. Let's see.
A crossover between Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers.
I'm just checking. Oh yeah, there's going to be a Gremlins animated series.
They're bringing back the original dude from Gremlins to voice in the
Billy
in the show
Peltzer.
too.
God, that's so funny. There's going to be an I Am Groot set of shorts that they have. And a What If season 2 is early 2023.
And Marvel Zombies.
Yes, that should be interesting.
Just a full Marvel zombie show, and I did read that they're going to be darker than the single episode that they did. So it's going to be a little gorier and a little
rated
R,
more
adult. Yeah.
Yes. X-Men 97.
Oh yeah,
fall next year.
Dope. Yep.
That looks kind of cool there. Tales of the Walking Dead gets some more stuff. There's going to be more of that if you guys are into Walking Dead.
I'm so burnt down on Walking Dead. I even tried to get into the last season just so I could watch where it ends, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, Oh yes, there is more news. The new Avatar movies that they're planning, not the James Cameron Avatar, but Avatar: The Last Airbender. That stuff that's coming out. It's going to focus on Aang, which is good because we all wanted that. If you're into that, Keanu Reeves, we're going to have a John Wick 4.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's just more comic book news. I mean, Batman.
Avatar movie, they're not going to be kids either. I saw they're going to be like young adults, which is cooler than watching a 10-year-old story.
Yes. Thank you.
For which one? For the Avatar?
Mm-hmm.
The little bit of stuff we saw from Andor looks kind of cool. They dropped a new trailer for that. I think that'll be cool. I think some of this stuff, I think there's going to be some more Star Wars news. We're not getting any of it until D23. I think that's when we'll see a bunch of stuff there. That was really about it because we already covered whatchamacallit. Picard 3's covered, Game of Thrones. I mean, that's kind of the real big stuff. Oh, did you guys watch the Sandman trailer?
You know what? I didn't. I need to, but I never read Sandman either. So
neither did I. My girls and I watched it, and I read it once. Like I read a graphic novel when that imprint first came out, when they did like an omnibus of like the first series, and I read that. The art's beautiful. It's amazing. The story looks cool. I'm really kind of excited for this one after I watched the trailer. It's very dark, obviously. I mean, if you know anything about the Sandman, but it really gave me if anybody watched Good Omens, it really gave me Good Omens vibes in some degree, but without a lot of the humor.
It's a series though, right? It's not a movie.
It is, yeah, and it's going to be Sandman looks like it's going to be just cray. I saw the Anne Rice interview with the vampire trailer. All right.
I don't know if I need that or not.
All right. I think we're honestly, my problem with that is I think we're fucking like 20 years too late.
Yeah.
For that one,
just give me a Twilight remake instead.
Right. This fall, Mythic Quest 3rd season.
Oh yeah, season 3, Mythic Quest. Andrew, have you watched Mythic Quest? Have either of you watched Mythic Quest on Apple TV Plus?
I've seen maybe 4 or 5 episodes.
Oh, that's impressive.
It's magnificent. And I think didn't they talk Severance season 2 also, speaking of Apple Plus?
Yes.
If
yes.
you haven't watched Severance, that show was fucking amazing.
Oh,
That show was brilliant.
Captain
It's
America,
Emmy nominated this year too. So
I'm so interested. I'm sorry, just that, I mean, back to the Avengers thing. And I know we got to wrap this up because you guys, it's getting late and it's a school night. But dude, Captain America: New World Order.
I'm excited.
Yo,
Just the name alone.
What is that? Just
New World
exactly.
Order?
I'm like,
whoa, that's some sinister shit going on.
That's what I'm saying.
Does it carry right over from where Falcon and the Winter Soldier ended? Because there's and
oh yeah, it says Anthony Mackie is. It says Anthony Mackie.
Oh, it is Anthony Mackie.
America. Yeah, like without a doubt.
Yeah, Chris Evans has already said he's not coming back. He's like, yeah, I'm done. He's like that's Anthony's. But I wonder too, because even though Miss Marvel is the first time they said mutants and they played the theme song, they did all that shit. They mentioned
at one place.
They meant in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They mentioned where all the mutants live. Yes. So I kind of wonder if New World Order will lean into the mutant stuff.
Holy shit, dude!
Yeah, it's possible. It might not be, but it since that started to come into play, maybe
it could.
They'll jump in.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like the Marvels too will have a little more mutant-y stuff in there too, since they've outed her as a mutant and they're going to continue her story there.
Kevin, you hit. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that I remember one of the things that Kevin, as in Feige, said was he wished they hadn't put out so much information about Multiverse of Madness. So I think that so that's why they're being so cryptic now, because when you put out information, people come up with theories and then they get mad. So I think that, at the end of the day, the less is more. And I think, and that's the other thing. I think that, he's one guy, right? But like Disney might do some shit. He didn't want Black Widow to be on streaming. He was against that, but he was overruled. So it's like, but I think now he can say, guys, like, let me do my job. Stop fucking me. Like, don't give away the plot in these damn trailers, man. Chill.
But they also
go ahead.
I was gonna say that the flip side of that is the reason that we got Krasinski in Multiverse of Madness, because the fans were so outspoken about it. So when they do Fantastic Four, when they do the movie, it's not going to be Krasinski, but they got him.
He's directing though.
He's not directing the movie though, is he?
Yeah, that was one of the things.
I thought that was pure speculation.
No, I thought that was true. That he has signed on for it.
I would love that. I think that'd be awesome, but I don't know about that yet.
That could be. It could be. But we're gonna get cast
soon.
Yeah, D3 baby
in September.
That might happen, but that's so far off. Like that's still 2025, late 2024.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, that is a long ways off to be casting right now.
Can I say something right now? I also there's moments in my life where I'm like, if I die, I'm gonna be very pissed off, right? So like when New Edition got back together, like 96, 97, I was like, if I fucking die before they fucking go on tour, I'm gonna be pissed. I know when Infinity War came out, just even seeing it, I was like, if I die before this movie, like I'm gonna be pissed. So right now, I'm like, if I die before 2025, I'm gonna be pissed. Like some bullshit, man. Like, because that's how excited I am about these fucking movies. Because they're gonna be like, if you thought Endgame and Infinity War were the shit, Avengers: Secret Wars, in my opinion, is gonna blow that shit out of the water. Like that's because the storytelling scale is even on a more massive scale with way more characters. So I just had to get that out there. I can't believe I just didn't say that till just now, but I've been thinking it. Like there's one more reason to stay alive. And that's lame, like to be staying alive for a movie or 2 or 5. But like, it's just, it gives me life, man. So, all right, I'm done. Sorry.
Dude, no, I'm sorry. That's not fucking weird at all. Have you ever watched Fanboys?
No.
That's the Star Trek one, right? No.
Star it's about Star Wars.
Yeah.
You have to watch Fanboys. I believe it's on Amazon Prime. It's about 3 dudes who go on, and you'll know all the people in it. I believe it's Miles Teller.
Oh.
I think Miles Teller's, but Dan Fogler's in it. The characters, they're all fucking nerds. You get all sorts of cameos in it. But it's these guys, I forget, they're going on a road trip for somewhere. One of them finds out he's dying, but they find out that That's right. They go and they find out he's dying, and their buddy isn't going to live to make it to see the first prequel come out. So they go to Skywalker Ranch, and it's this road trip to go, and it's them seeing it. But then and it's just a great fucking movie.
I'll see it,
and you'll love it. Seriously, you're gonna love it because you're gonna so feel everybody in this movie.
Cool. Well, I think we hit everything that we
do
care about from that, and I think next week will probably be the saddest episode we ever do because we'll have already talked about everything that matters. But yeah, hopefully next week we get everybody back, right? Like we probably won't have Andy.
I think it's Andy's week off. I'll definitely be back tonight. I just had some family stuff that it was making it worrisome to get in here. But yeah, no, I think we should all be back next week. Your Dungeons and Dragons adventure is coming along soon. Don't worry, we'll start scheduling some of this stuff. You guys will get a kick out of it. Like you asked Kim if it's she, fun. It's a different kind of thing. So yeah. I think Andrew, I think you'll like it a lot more than when we start anyway, we'll talk about that another time. San Diego Comic-Con, another one in the books.
Yeah.
It's a nice
big one. It's a big one.
Massive.
Fun one. I think anyone listening who is even remotely interested in this stuff will hopefully get a kick out of what we talked about. There's some passion involved for sure. I know I got a little worked up a little bit, not in a bad way, but just like I got worked up because that's what I do.
No, I thought it was great. I just all those trailers, everything they dropped got me actually excited. Even I'll admit it, even the Shazam stuff, like I looked at it, I was like, okay, this just looks like it'll be fun. Like but the first movie was fun. Like I said, we all liked the first movie. When we talked about it when it first came out, even Alex and Obi liked the first movie. They just had the same issues we've all had, is that it didn't know what the fuck it was. It never really bridged a gap, and so it was fucking weird. And the only thing that we could dig about that one because I don't know, the weird Shazam family team and Jumanji Houston with the weird Santa Claus beard is also kind of, I'm like, what the fuck is going on there? But that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, so thanks for listening. This has been All Pop No Culture. Like, subscribe, have a week.
And now, Deep Thoughts by Andy.
Kim, I'm so stoked that you're part of this deal.
Me too. Thanks for inviting me.
I think that, I know that you have been a really fun part of this, but I think that a person like you with your personality and with your panache, I think will round out our perviness. So that's it's good that you're here.
Even if I'm like old lady knitting below the scenes here.
Are you fucking knitting?
That's awesome.
Like an old lady.
Please make sure that makes the cut. We got to make sure we get a Kim knitting piece in the cut for sure.
You can make us all hats for a special Christmas edition.
There you go.